Previously on Cormyr.
We find the Warhounds in some sort of underground warren.
We need to get out of here as soon as possible.
You hear a voice in your head. A shape begins to appear in front of you. The spirits of these 4 druids look at you expectantly. You sense a feeling of anger. Roll for initiative.
No!
In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Theoda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassie Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Hello everyone.
Hello.
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 So, the cave around you rumbles, and you all hear a gasp from Hiram's tunnel. Balthazar, you see this humanoid-shaped, what can only be described as a humanoid-shaped constellation pull itself from the wall and step forwards towards Hiram. As it raises 2 arms, the joints highlighted by glowing motes of light. Zumbo, what do you do?
So I heard Hiram gasp, did I?
Yeah. So yeah, you've all... Yeah, you all know something's up.
Okay. I'll be kind of jubilantly, celebrating not being dead, and then hear Hiram and go, Hiram, everything alright for you there?
Everything alright, Hiram?
Do I get to answer now or on my turn?
No free action. Yep, you're good.
Fucking peachy!
Oh, that's alright then.
Okay. Recognising the tone of voice, Zombo will draw his sword and start running.
Okie dokie. So
Skidding around the corner, bouncing off Balthazar probably.
Yeah. And yeah, towering over Hiram is this... I mean, imagine, like, the drawings of Orion. It looks like one of those, just towering over Hiram with an arm raised.
Okay. I will... So does it look kind of insubstantial? Or what, does it look solid enough to hit?
It looks like you could probably hit it, yes.
Okay.
Somehow. Yeah. You can see almost sort of like it looks like a linework skeleton almost, faint beams of light connecting each joint. It moves almost skeleton-like, is it?
Okay.
Like a graceful ballerina skeleton.
Yeah, so in that case, I'll bonus action dash, literally skidding around the corner, and take a thrust at it with my rapier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 9 to hit.
Okay, so as you thrust at the constellation, yeah, like you go to thrust where you would normally thrust on a person, but like your sword just, like your rapier just kind of passes through and doesn't doesn't make any noticeable. It doesn't have a noticeable effect.
Well, that ain't gonna work. Alright, and that's his turn.
So I should also quickly do this, because apparently this is a thing. Excuse me, don't mind me. Just gonna apologise for this in advance, Hiram. I'm just going to
Kill your character.
Oh no!
blind you.
Oh no!
Oh, that is very bright. Okay, yeah. Let's there we go. Right. Yeah, it is this thing. As you thrust at it, Zumbo, it sort of like it brings its arms down and bright light booms out of it. Brighter than the light coming from Balthazar's staff. Certainly. Yes, yeah, you miss, unfortunately. Anything else? Okie dokie. Badger, you've just seen this. You've heard the sound of Balthazar, Zumbo's feet as he's gone running. There's been this big burst of light that's emanating past the central pillar. What do you do?
Sensing something is very wrong over in the stars quadrant. Badger's gonna take off running in that direction and saying, encouraging the team to all converge.
Okie dokie.
I didn't mean to do that. 6. I can actually go. Can I get 8 per? I'm 40 foot, aren't I? Oh my goodness! Right, I think I'm gonna bonus action. I'm gonna step of the wind so I can dash. 4, 5. Okay, and I'm from there. I think I'm 10 foot away.
So you've used 70 foot so far.
Yeah, so that was with bonus action dash using step of the wind. So, so from here, I'm gonna see if my fiery fist will do anything against this constellation. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Okay, it's gonna have to be unarmed strikes because I'm 10 foot away. There's a 19 hit.
It does.
So it's 9 fiery damage.
Okay, so as you a jet of flame comes from your fist and it strikes a constellation, which reacts violently, but no noise comes from it.
It reacts violently, does it? It seems to care.
It's as if it's been hit by a gout of flame.
Okay, let's do it another couple of times. In fact, I can only do it twice because I don't get my bonus action, do I? Does a 12 hit?
You do get your bonus.
No,
But I've used my bonus action
for the dash.
to dash.
Yeah.
That's right. Does a 12 hit?
It does not.
Okay.
So as it turns, it seems thinner than it is wide.
Okay. Oh dear. That's it for me.
That's it for you. Okay, and it, like, what you can only discern as its head turns to look to you. Helenus shouts, "What's going on?" Balthazar, what do you do?
Balthazar will rush to go next to Badger. And why can't I move?
You've got your ruler selected still. Yeah.
How do I? Right, move.
Yeah.
And shielding his, and we'll scream, "Hear him!" And we'll shield his face away from all the bright light. But we'll raise his staff, and we'll use arcane abjuration.
Oh!
Ooh.
For the second time.
Okay. In which case,
I need you to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, please.
Excellent. Yay!
Cool. It disappears, Dan.
Oh. What? Wait, what?
Well,
Got a
that's
10.
if it is a celestial or a fey or elemental, which I suspect it is.
So light erupts out of Balthazar, and the constellation flickers, and it appears to be trying to press itself back onto the wall because it's turn. You've turned it. You haven't destroyed it.
Yeah, but I'm above 5th level, right? So if you read the last part of the spell, when could you fail?
Banished for 1
CR
minute.
1 or lower.
Yeah, you're level 8, so CR1 or lower.
Banishes?
Yeah, you only banish CR1 or lower elementals
yeah.
at level 8.
It isn't a conversion. Oh, and it's channeling that below. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
We're good.
Yeah. So, yeah, but this thing, like, presses itself. Well, I mean, it's already flat in there, but it presses itself more flat against the wall of the crypt of the tomb. Okay, so how long to spend each of its turns for each action? You're going to use a dash to escape. Okay, fine. If there's nowhere to move, it will dodge. Cool, perfect. There you go. So yeah, Balthazar, you're not entirely sure why, but this thing is seemingly cowering from you.
Yeah. That's my turn.
As that happens, like there's a big boom, and then from the other side of the barrow, you hear, "What is happening?" from Axicast. Catcher, what do you do?
Catcher can move to there. I can see it, thank goodness. And she sort of screams out, what the bloody hell is it? And she casts a vicious mockery upon it. Needs to make a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Hi. DC 16. It fails.
Oh.
It takes 7 psychic damage.
Ooh.
And it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay.
For her bonus action, she's going to scream out, Hiram!
So,
Up!
yeah, at the sound of Katya shouting, "What the neath is that?" The constellation seems to freeze for a moment, and then peels itself back off the wall, in preparation to attack.
Yeah, then I'll give Hiram a bardic inspiration.
Okay. Anything else?
That is all for Catch's abilities.
Drool.
Draw 5, 10, 15, 20.
So what's the light drool?
30. Yep, Draw can get into that space there. So Draw leaps over Zumbo and goes snapping at the starlight for 21.
That is a hit.
He'll deal 7.
I love the idea of, like dogs when they're bubbles and stuff, like like that kind of thing.
So basically that is what happens. Drool, what you do notice as Drool bites down on one of the glowing motes of energy, the constellation doesn't seem to be that fussed, but
does it make a... I guess it's too big to make a strength saving throw against being pulled over.
Drool lets out a yelp as he takes 2 radiant damage.
Ooh.
I just realized this is probably the druid form from the Circle of Stars, isn't it? Or similar to it.
Again, I'm assuming it's too big for the strength save, right?
It's strength save or prone, right?
Yeah. It passes.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. One second. Never mind. Carry on.
Okay. In that case, the constellation looks to you and looks to you all, and steps as it begins moving towards you. And I say it's effectively like a 2D image, but you watch as the motes begin to orbit as it starts kind of swirling around itself into a constellation, a 3D constellation, and it moves, it glides on top of you.
DM Dan?
Yes?
Can it do that if it's frightened?
It can, because it took damage.
Okay.
I need to read my ability.
Yeah, it took damage.
Oh, sorry. That'll be my dog.
So everyone in its space takes. So Hiram, you take 3 radiant damage. Who's that? Drool takes 7. Balthazar takes 9 radiant
boy.
damage. And you all catch fire. Like, you all begin glowing, and the heat, you feel the heat of a star kind of burning inside you. So every turn, at the start of each of your turns, you'll take a further d10 fire damage. It then walks that way, and Badger, you take 1 radiant damage. Zumbo, you take 3 radiant damage. And having stepped on you all, it then turns back to Hiram, and...
Remember disadvantage on any attacks.
Okay.
Astral punch.
So it reaches for Hiram, misses, but then another nebula comes out, and 15 to hit. Okay, and Hiram, you manage to kind of shield away, and the hand kind of bounces off you slightly. And the constellation just happily sits on you all, and you're burning in starfire. Emily.
I thought then you are playing Emily.
Mm-hmm. Emily does nothing. Slate. What do you do, Rowan?
For God's sake. No.
You can see a very bright, swirling mass of stars. It looks like you can see little nebulas and supernovas going off inside it, and it is to be sat on top of your adventuring party.
I would like to. Let me just try this. Run. Is it control? I forget. Yes. So that would be there. That would be there. Oh! Did something wrong there. Anyway, 1 second. Moved there. Oh!
Oh, God. Everything moved.
Where? Oh! Help! Get me back. And then I am going to... I guess... Very little. I'm going to... Oh, is that a cantrip? Sorry, 1 second. You'd think I'd have prepared this before I got to this point. I am going to... Can I just ask?
Yes.
What likelihood do you think there are bugs in the area?
White high?
What kind of bugs? Do you think maybe like some centipedes?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Okay. Well, I can transform up to 10 centipedes into giant animals. And I'm going to do that because why the hell not? Giant insect, baby! I want giant centipedes all over the place. I don't want to see them, but I want them to be around.
Blimey, didn't know you had that. Right, so realistically, giant centipede. I mean, we haven't specified that there are 10 rolling about, right?
No.
So what we'll do...
No, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is 10. It could be up to 10.
In the interest of fairness, because I
space.
there are 8. 8.
Still more than you hoped, wasn't there, Dan?
Don't know what you're talking about. Right, giant. Giant centi. Do I even have giant centipedes? I have. What are giant centipedes? Hang on. Right, quick. Let's. What are they? I assume they're beasts. Giant centipede. Oh no. Okay, right. They're not as big as I was worried they'd be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and sod you. 1 comes out the wall behind you. 8. Okay, right. 8 giant centipedes. We'll put one over here. We'll have that one roll initiative. Bam. Okay, 8 giant centipedes appear, and I think
Sorry, guys.
I assume they attack on their own turns, right? By your verbal commands, they act on your turn each round.
On my turn, so let's
They
go.
resolve their actions. Okay.
Can I do it for this round, or would it be only next round?
So they go on your turn. Okay, so what do you tell them to do?
Crawl, my pretties, crawl! And then I'll say, attack! And then point the weird star thing! Just in case they were confused.
Okay, right. In which case...
Balthazar.
1, 2... well, it's just gonna be a traffic jam of giant centipedes, isn't there? Alright, so you all watch as you're like flailing about, covered in starfire, and suddenly a flock of is it a flock? What's a group of centipedes called? A slither, a skitter of centipedes comes barreling towards you, and
Nope of centipedes.
a nope of centipedes, and oh my goodness! Right, first one. Good lord. The constellation. I love how it's like, yeah, the DM can handle this. Right, so the first centipede hits for 4 damage, but then this is gonna get real. And then takes 1 damage. Oh no! Right, takes 1 damage, and then the constellation takes that much, and then the next one gets a bite, and that one does that's a 12. It misses. Yeah, have it. Realistically, they're centipedes, so they're going to be on top of each other. So we'll go for another few. Like that one hits, and then that one does nibble, nibble, nibble. That one of those. Okay, and then it eats 5. Ha!
Tally all this up, maybe it might be easier.
No, because I have to roll the damage bouncing back out at them. So 1 centipede disappears into a black hole. The fourth one, sorry, misses, and then the 5th one, which is the last one that can attack this turn, misses. Right, there we go.
Curse you!
So the others then flock in a bit closer because they can, because they're centipedes and they're creepy as all hell. Right. Cool. I'm just going to leave that character sheet up. Anything else? It's late.
I'm thinking, well done.
Okay.
Don't like them.
Hiram, first things first, at the start of your turn, you take 4 radiant damage. And then what do you do?
I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on myself, so I'm not going to be blinded anymore.
Oh, you're not blinded, by the way. It's just very bright. But you are on fire, in effect.
I can deal with. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to attack this guy.
Not blind, on fire.
Can walk it off.
No biggie.
Unfortunately, that is on its own not a hit, but I do believe I have Bardic Inspiration.
You do.
Ooh, very good.
So
16.
16 total. So that hits, and as you bring the sword up into the constellation.
That's 12 damage.
Ooh, nice.
And for the second. Sorry.
I
assume the smite is going to be absolutely useless here, so we're not even going to bother with that. Can attack.
Delicious, delicious smite.
Right, so that didn't really help.
You have inspiration if you want to use it.
I'm good.
Okie dokie. No worries. So you take, like, it's hard to look at, it's hard to see what exactly it is you need to hit. But yeah, you take a few swings at it. As that happens, inside Zumbo, you are in a world of brilliantly bright light and pain. You take 8 radiant damage.
Okay.
Also, there is an army of centipedes that have just rocked up.
I was going to say he was probably backing away and then turned around and saw this scuttling horror. So he's immediately turned tail and crawls through Balthazar's legs, which I can do because I'm small.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
And he's kind of like patting his hat and trying to get the flames out of that, but he turns around and goes, "Get off my crew!" and is lobbing balls of water at the thing over his shoulder as he runs. Is it just normal? I'm not got disadvantage or anything. Okay.
All right. It's disadvantage if you're there because you're.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll bonus action disengage.
Cool. And then you'll step away. Fine.
And then so crawl through Balthazar's legs, stand up, and lob these things over my shoulder as I. Okay, so
that is
16.
a hit.
Awesome. 7 force damage.
Okay, the first one impacts it, and you see one of the lights, one of the stars, kind of zot out.
Cool. And the other one, 18.
Nice.
Also a hit.
4.
Okie dokie, and then that pushes it 20.
Yeah.
One,
Which
two,
may not be
three,
good for those
4.
centipedes. So
No.
sorry, Slate.
Yeah, actually.
Ooh.
1. Okay, so we'll just go from the top. Dead.
Oh no. Killed the wrong things.
Dead. No, this was.
They were in the
100%
way.
This was 100% the plan, Zumbo. Like, who brought all these centipedes in quick?
It's just like, meant to
Get rid
do
of them. Okay, there are now only 2 centipedes which are slightly scorched, and because there's things passed over them, they're also on fire now. So,
Oh dear.
not that one. It's that one. Cool. Anything else, Zumbo?
I think I've done quite enough.
The things we do in a blind panic. Okie dokie. After Zumbo is Badger. What do you do?
Badger's gonna probably try and get a bit closer.
Uh-huh.
Why is it just appearing for me, the sort of spectral badger, but in the space
Yeah, I
I was
had
just
that
in?
earlier.
That just shows where you started. If you
Oh,
ever-
okay.
Ah.
Cool. It's gonna get within 10 feet and do a bit more punchy from a distance.
Okay.
Let's see. So we're gonna go unarmed strike. 20.
That is a hit.
Dirty 20's a hit for 11 fiery damage.
You see one of the stars go supernova.
Lovely. It's only an 11, so that's a miss. But I am gonna bonus action flurry of blows for another 2.
Okay. That's another hit.
Boom.
10 fiery damage.
Okay.
And finally a 25
That's a hit.
for 9 fiery damage.
Okay. So the 2, as you bring you swing once, it takes out a star. You swing again, and it kind of soars just over its shoulder. The next 2 attacks sever one of the arms, and you just watch as the lights just kind of evaporate.
Nice. Thank you.
And next up is Helenus. Helenus looks over and what is that? She shouts. Balthazar, what do you do?
Balthazar will.
Sorry, beg my pardon. First thing Balthazar does is take. Badger takes 10 radiant damage.
Okay, yeah.
Balthazar takes 10 radiant damage.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Um,
Stop rolling so high, please.
yeah, Balthazar will go. Hey, go away! And wave his staff, and I will cast a spell.
Hey.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
You are really trying to banish it, aren't you?
Yeah, this thing needs to go. That is a fail.
Okay, and as you shout, "Go away!" The constellation now with only one arm like turns to you, and like as it reaches a hand out, and the star at the end of its arm just seems to grow larger and larger as it tries to envelop you. And Badger, as it approaches you, Balthazar, you see a flash. Those apart from Badger, you see a flash come from Balthazar's staff. A pulse rips out, and the constellation is blown back, hits the central pillar, and vanishes.
Oh, what happened? Where'd it go?
We all need to put ourselves out, I think, first and foremost.
Ow.
Yeah.
roll on the
Just
floor.
immediately start patting ourselves to put out the flames.
Can Zumbo help? Like
I was going to say, yeah, I'll just be lobbing water balls everywhere.
Is there there's a bonfire where Balthazar used to be? Skyforks night, yeah.
Oh no.
Well, as the constellation just vanishes, the light that's been kind of pushing from inside your skin, like inside your bodies, just dims, and it's difficult to explain what it feels like to have like a cold bath on your insides, but that's what it feels like. And as the star is as the constellation is banished, Rowan and those of you nearby notice that the fourth sigil illuminates.
Oh, good. Imagine if we'd got any more than just one wrong.
Right.
From what I was hearing is we're having giant mushrooms and dragon.
So, as you all take a moment to collect yourselves, you notice that there are sigils above these four pedestals which are now glowing. Each one of them, the two of you who can read Druidic, mentioning effectively being the sigils of these respective druids. And as you gather before the door, you notice that the spirits once again have appeared above their respective tombs. So you can see this heavily scarred, the heavily scarred man to the left. And in your head, you just have this knowledge that the spirit's name in life was Kadeon Bowwalker. The Arakokra, you have this knowledge that she was called Karork Ashmender. The lizard folk behind you, you've already seen his name, Vercingetorix. And Hiram, Badger, Slate, and Katya, as you turn your heads to look down the tunnel to the corridor with the no longer glowing fungi, you see the outline of this plump little woman with massive wide-rimmed glasses, and in your heads you get the name Margalith. Mabel Margalith. And the spirits just kind of look to you in acceptance, if you will, and you watch as the vines at the top of the tomb begin to give way as they pull apart like gnarled fingers, and before you it's a final tomb.
Ooh.
On a stone throne sits a skeleton, slumped to one side. Upon the skeleton's skull is a second skull of a dragon.
Ooh.
And inside, you can see, despite this tomb being dark and somewhat dry, the room is filled with a verdant array of bushes and berries and small flowers. This looks like it were a graveyard if you're outside in the sunlight, but it's approximately 15 feet underground.
Oof.
And above the skeleton's head reads one final druidic inscription that says Narvla Skyshatter. And as you gather round, you notice a shape appears to form around the skeleton. A ghostly figure rises from the throne to look at you, and in her hands materialize a crescent moon shaped sickle and a crescent moon topped staff. A ferocious looking banner hangs, it is attached to her back, and jutting from a hood is the snout of a dragon's skull. A glowing from her eyes, emanating from inside it. And Narvla looks to you in turn and... Congratulations, she says.
Thank you.
She looks to you and... It has been some considerable time since the living have ventured into our tomb. She seems to be looking at you all individually, yet looking through you at the same time. Why have you woken me?
Do you believe that we were chased in here by a dragon? And we were looking for a way out?
Narvla's eyes flash more vibrantly at the sound of at the talk of a dragon. And she tilts her head slightly and... You chose to run from it?
Well, at the time, that was and she thinks about it for a moment, the best tactic that we had. Naturally, we're going to be looking for it afterwards, but just, this, oh god, what's the saying I'm looking for? Something valor. Better part of valor.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
Yeah, discretion's the better part of valor.
I think
we will just...
I think what my friend is trying to say, it's easier to kill a dragon when you're not dead.
There was a lot of fire.
We really just wanted to give it a fighting chance. It wouldn't have been fair for us to take it on before it was prepared. It wouldn't have been a fair fight. So we've given it some time to catch its breath, and then we'll head back out there and sort it out. If you could just show us the exit, then we'll be out of your hair and we'll go deal with it.
The spirit of Narvla looks at you all and then vanishes.
Hey, come
and
back.
It reappears next to you, Rowan.
Oh.
And you all watch as his spirit looks Rowan up and down. I sense the old magics in you, child. You are a practitioner of the druidic arts.
Well, yes. I mean, we it's kind of a thing to do around. We don't. No one gets into it. It calls to them, or you have to do it anyway. So,
Spirit takes a step back You practice the old magics, but your soul is not of nature. Your soul is bathed in the shadow. What are you?
I'm me, and that's okay. And you really should be nicer to people that you've just met. It's really not fair. I don't come to you and be like, oh, you're barely in a corporal form. Your Majesty, and then bows.
Narvla disappears, like fades away, and reappears next to Hiram and Badger and Balthazar. She looks at you in particular, Balthazar, and like a spectral hand reaches out and seems to almost sort of like run along the wooden joints on your elbow.
Fly away.
What has happened to this world that we would unnaturally give life to the forest, give life in such a mimicry of the forest? She turns to you. Who are you? To whom do you owe allegiance?
I guess the Warhounds now.
And she tilts her head. Warhounds. And like as she looks back up at you, the 4 ghosts of the 4 tombs surround you.
Ooh.
You hear the growl of the scarred man. You hear the ruffle of feathers and the smell like from the Aarakocra next to him. You hear a slow, throaty from the lizard folk, and you hear quaint little mumbles coming from the old woman. The dragon, says Narvla. Does it yet live?
It's
Yes.
probably still alive.
It depends on which dragon you're talking about. The one that chased us in here, yes, is still alive.
It's alive, but it's controlled by someone.
Narvla, it's difficult to gauge a reaction given that all you can see is a bizarre, this literal dragon skull. But you can notice a slight tensing in the shoulders as you say that a dragon was controlling, the dragon was being controlled. As long as dragons draw breath in the king's forest, peace will not be found in the lands of Cormyr. Do you have the resolve to slay the beast?
Yeah. As I said, me and my crew are up to it. We just need letting out.
Why should we?
I like what Hiram saying. Why are we facing a dragon? It is a dragon. Fire, breath, ash.
Not even that. This is not our fight. We are not even supposed to be here.
Narvla tilts her head slightly, and Cormyr was founded on the death of dragons, and Cormyr will survive on the death of dragons.
Cormyr is currently tearing itself apart. Dragons make no difference.
Narvla looks slightly taken aback. What troubles the forest kingdom that threatens such devastation?
Rowan raises her
Can you
hand.
repeat that?
Sorry, she looks to you, slightly taken aback, and says, "What threatens Cormyr? What threat stands before Cormyr that threatens such devastation?"
Self.
Rowan puts her hand up. I do, without being overstepping the mark here, I do appreciate that you're quite keen for us to, kill some dragons and everything, but could you maybe help with, some sort of resource or wisdom? I mean, what can we do when you're...
The ghost looks, or vanishes, and then re-emerges. Why should I help a creature born of... And then she stops. And she looks at you. She leans in. And then sounds as if she smells you.
Weirdo.
That scent. I recognize that scent, she says.
No.
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 The scent of your mentor. Where is your mentor? Why is he not guiding you on this journey?
Just Rowan looks down and does not answer. Like
Narvla, you sense a air of frustration begin to emanate from Narvla, and with lightning speed, her hand comes out and she grabs you by the shoulder and pulls you in. Where is Barents? I very much wish to speak with him.
I don't know. He's gone. I don't know where he's gone. I'm not with him. I haven't seen him in months, almost a year. Just please don't
leave her alone.
And her head turns to look at you, Catcher, and her other hand reaches out to the central pillar and places a hand against the earth, and her head lowers. And Slate, as you begin to think about everything that, like, you find yourself just thinking about everything that happened when you last saw Baz, and as you're thinking it feels as if those memories are being drawn out of you, until eventually Narvla lets go of you, pulls her hand from the pillar, from the mound. He has fallen.
No.
He was alone. He has fallen to rage. And she looks to you all. She looks to you, Slate. There are those that can see that this is not the skin you own, she says. And she holds a hand out, and in her hand materializes the crescent moon sickle. And she takes your hand and places the handle of the sickle in your palm. As she closes her hands around yours, the sickle begins to materialize and solidify and take shape to form what appears to be a crescent moon sickle that's rusted and caked with grime and blood.
I think Rowan would definitely scream by that point. Even if it wasn't hurting, it would be the fact that it's shocked, and I imagine permanent.
Narvla just stares you dead in the eye, and you need to roll that with disadvantage.
Let me do. Sorry, 1 second. That's not working from there. 1 second.
Like, as you feel the world begin to kind of throb and thrum around you, as suddenly all you can really see is Narvla's face.
Oh gosh.
And you your soul, your very soul feels cowed. And Narvla repeats, "He has fallen to rage. There is only one option. You must cull the beast."
No.
And as she lets your hands go, the sickle is in your hands. And Narvla disappears and reemerges on her throne. "It has been a long time since I have been awoken." And you see her hands kind of sliding along the arms of her throne as she kind of grips the corners. "I sense the land, it speaks to me. I sense a returning darkness from beneath." And she tilts her head up, puts her hand on the vines behind her head and runs her hand up the wall. "I sense an encroaching darkness from beyond." And she presses a hand to her chest. "I sense a growing darkness from within. This is your age, not mine." And she looks at you, Hiram. "This is your fight to fight." And she holds a hand out and twists it, palm up, and the pillar behind you begins to rumble, and rocks and debris start kind of clattering down on your head, small specks of dirt. And you watch as the central pillar, parts and tilts back and becomes a staircase. And light begins to pour through from the top. And the roots from the central pillar kind of warp to form the stairs to give you an exit from her tomb. And Narvla sits back in her throne and looks at you expectantly.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Without like saying goodbye, Rowan just runs straight up immediately just to get out there as quick as possible.
Hexacash, Helenus!
As you run up the stairs, as you're about to exit, the four ghosts appear in front of you. They don't say anything, but in your head you hear, "The beast must be culled." And then they vanish. And those of you who've watched Rowan kind of run up into the the newly formed stairwell, you watch as Narvla, those of you still behind, watch as Narvla fades from her throne.
Fate.
Yes.
As everyone is saying, like, oh, goodbye, blah, blah, blah. Hiram is just going to look at her and say, maybe work on your manners for the next couple of 100 years.
Oh, she doesn't have to worry about
Boom.
Dragonfire. She's just got burnt by Hiram.
And she, with that sick burn, Narvla then vanishes, leaving you free to emerge, to ascend the staircase after Slate.
Of course, manners being a top priority of an ancient, wise entity.
So goddamn rude though! Like, why make us go through all of that to prove ourselves and with the puzzles and the fight and everything, and then just be a bitch anyway? Pride.
They're very proud.
Seriously.
Nobody's really grumpy from like being woken up from a really nice
I love
sleep.
this is the hill that Hiram's dying on. It's like, ghosts should be a better mannered.
They should be more polite.
Hundreds of years, they should be like
I don't know.
Didn't
I
even
think the
offer us a
base
drink.
level of "do not be a
Yeah.
bitch" is not a lot to ask for.
I think the
From a
older you
previous
get,
leader.
the less you care. She's just
It's nice to be
done
nice.
with everyone.
Manners cost nothing.
Also, I'm
I
really
mean,
sorry.
she's
She
only
just
had those 4 people for the past 100 years. I mean, imagine Aarakocra is one who's just like, constantly calls on and on and on.
yeah. But also, I gotta say, just smelling someone without their consent. Rude.
So, as you all probably very happily ascend the stairs out of this barrow, you find yourselves out at one of those.
Do you, Hannis, and the rest need any help?
Wait, say again? Oh, Helen. So
Do
yeah,
Hannis and the
Helenis
rest
and
need help?
yeah, Helenis helps Axacas up over and out the stairs. But you find yourselves emerged up onto the barrow, the top of the barrow, and you notice that the way that the ground is warped and the roots are kind of splayed out. It's almost as if you've walked out of the mouth of this dragon skull. And as you kind of get to the top of the stairs, and Hiram, you're complaining about the grumpiness of the ghost. Badger, you hear in your head, "Your companion is correct. She seemed very rude." But yeah, Slate. So you find Slate stood at the edge of the barrow. And ahead of you, just in front of you, sprawling out ahead of you, from the mouth of the cave out, you can see this heavy scorch mark, where the dragon had its kind of run up to you. Perhaps what catches your attention more is the sound of heavy armor, mail boots, as a squad of purple dragons, led by a bald, dark-skinned, scar-on-left-cheeked man, Caven Tor. And he looks to you slightly concerned, and... "Did you just come out of the ground?"
No.
Yes.
A little?
I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
And the purple dragons begin, so the loyalist purple dragons begin to fan out through the glade. You see some of them kind of gathering around the scorch marks, the half-eaten deer. You see others kind of investigating the furrow of fiery, like burnt ground running up to the cave. And yeah, Caven kind of approaches you and he's kind of shouting up to you at the top of the barrow. "I didn't realize that you were the mercenaries that had picked up the dragon hunt job."
We are not.
Right.
Are we not?
I
didn't.
I suspected this was a bit of a surprise then.
I mean, yes.
Comes with the territory of adventuring. Occasionally you get attacked by a dragon, evidently.
And he looks at the scorch marks on the ground. "Evidently," he shouts up.
Do you want us to come down to you so we don't have to shout?
That would be grand. As far as I understand it, there was a dragon here recently.
What gave it away, other than the fact we mentioned it and there's a huge scorch mark on the floor? I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I'm sorry for my tone.
So, as you start coming down, and sort of like Caven's looking at you with this kind of bemused smile on his face, he... Tell you what, I'll grab you all. Oh, okay. Oh, those of you that haven't started moving, I'll pull you all. There you go. Whoop.
Oh.
Right, so yeah, as you all come down, at the back of the group is Helenis carrying Axacas, and as he Axacas like limping on a sprained hoof, And as they kind of come into view, you notice that there's a quiet that runs through the soldiers as they turn to look at the two women. And you hear one of the dragons say, "Sir?" And Caven Tall looks past you all and sees Helenus and Axicas. And Caven raises an eyebrow. "You're Helenus Fish, aren't you?" And there's an awkward silence from the two stalwart adventurers. And he turns to look to you lot and says, "Are these two with you?"
Yes.
Yes.
And I would presume that, he says, shouting to Axicas and Helenus behind you, that you were the mercenaries that answered our call. And the two women look at side-eye each other and then nod. And then he says, "Well, that's fortunate. Perhaps the two of you should follow me back to the Stagsteads so we can debrief and get an explanation of what happened here. And Helenus, I was wondering, when was the last time you spoke to your mother?" And with that, we'll call it there.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
Maybe this guy is Helen's dad. Is that a thing?
Oh, interesting.
Can I just say how
Why don't you
refreshing
follow
it is
her?
that it's not my family drama starring us in the story.
Caven Thorn is Helen's dad. It's canon.
Or
Head
brother.
cannon.
I mean, age-wise,
Oh.
he could be a brother.
No, but he said your mother, so it must be
Yeah, but then,
Half-
then
they're
again,
half
Keeps
brothers and
elsewhere.
sister.
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere, in the King's Forest, the purple dragon yawns and scratches her cheek idly as she leans on her spear. She lets out a sigh as she's been posted here for so long on sentry duty, and it's been a long day. She just wants, she thinks for a moment about some food, and it's not great food that they have here, but maybe it'll be warm. That would be nice. And a drink. I'd love a drink right now. And she lets out a huff, and she looks to the other purple dragon stood on the wall of Fort Lymera, and he looks back to her with this dejected expression on his face as well. And he calls out, "Don't worry, only another," and he looks up at the sun, "I don't know, 3 hours?" They hear a cough from the ground, and as they peer over the battlements to look at who it is at the gates, they see two figures at the head of a small procession. And the purple dragons, the sentries, both open their eyes, and she mutters under her breath, "Timora's tits."
But who is it, Dan? But who?
having fun.
Dun
Dad.
dun dun.
I'm happy about it if it is who I think it is.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing session 6.
Hey.
Wait.
Thank you.
The end of the side quests.
I enjoyed the puzzle, even though we didn't necessarily get
No.
it. It's fun to do a puzzle.
We haven't gotten rid of the bandits in the King's Forest, Dan. Or was it?
Never
That's the main quest.
That's the main quest, Anton.
Yeah.
We're back on track now.
I thought
Yeah,
that
the
was
main-
the side quest.
The main
Okay.
quest was clear out the forest bandits. The side
Yeah.
quests have been stop a civil war, hunt a dragon, escape, escape a druid
supplies.
barrow.
Talk
Yeah.
to mushrooms. Yeah,
That's-
gotcha.
Where are the supplies, Dan?
They are at Deadluke.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hopefully.
Oh, they've been recaptured by Jick.
Oh, jeez.
But yes, thank you all for playing. I will enjoy it, and I will see you next week.
See you next week.
Sweet.
See you next
See you
week.
then.
Bye-bye.
With the mysterious barrow of Narvla Skyshatter behind them, the Warhounds can finally turn their attention back to their original mission of hunting down forest bandits in the King's Forest. It would seem, however, that these pesky side quests have other ideas. As is quite clear, we've made some changes to the videos, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the new visual layout and the split session videos. Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, please consider giving us a thumbs up and telling others about our channel so they can enjoy the campaign too. We'll be uploading the first part of each new session on Sundays and the second part midweek. We upload weekly short clips to YouTube and TikTok, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter on the links in the description. Clicking on this box here will take you to the previous video, and clicking on this logo here will subscribe you to the Explorers of Elsewhere channel. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, may the realms endure.